Hey guys, my name is Aidan Hennebry coming at you from the doghouse. This is my 99 square foot little creative studio. I'm a graphic designer based out of St. Thomas, Ontario, which is just south of London, Ontario, here in Canada. Today, I'm really excited to be showing you guys behind the scenes of this project that I wrapped with a client of mine recently. I understand that if you're a business, you're hiring a graphic designer for the first time, you may not know exactly what to expect. So this video is meant to just show you what it's like to work with me, to show you a bit of my creative process and help you understand that if you want to work with someone like me, for example, what you can expect as a client. So first, the brief. Wes Bos is a web developer from the city of Hamilton in Ontario. And for, a couple of decades now anyways, he's been working in the web development space. He's been a professor. He's run his own courses and all kinds of stuff. He's a big name. If you're in the web development world, dude is really awesome. We've known each other for a number of years, and this was a really fun project that he reached out to me about doing. So as a web developer, once a year, what Wes does is he makes a whole bunch of stickers. He puts about 10 in a pack, and then he mails them all over the world. He sells, I think, 1,000, 5,000 packs, something like that, and mails them everywhere. And they are always these really cool sticker packs that Wes puts together. So this project that he commissioned me for is not on a sticker, but it's based on a sticker that Wes has done in the past. And so pennants, if you know what pennants are, here are a couple little ones, these awesome little flags. I've got a whole bunch of vintage ones here. Wes wanted to put together a pennant based on a sticker design that he had done. Wes sent me 2 reference images just to give me an idea of kind of what he was after. So the first was this actual sticker of the hand where it says idle hands build nothing. Really cool sticker. I think it was included in one of those packs that went out, and you see some of the cool icons on here as well that are specific to Wes and his web development, and he ideally wanted to include in the final design if we could. One of the other images was a mock-up that Wes had done of a pennant. So this was kind of the rough idea of what he had in mind, and he wanted me to run with it. So I was really excited to take on that challenge and go for it. A lot of my designs nowadays are done by hand, if not exclusively, at least primarily. Working with the pencil gives you a really organic feel. It can be a little grittier, a little more raw, and knowing that Wes Bos has a bit of that flavor in his brand already, knowing that he's a dude who likes hardcore music, I leaned heavily into that with lots of grit and grain and texture, and you're gonna see that in the designs that we're looking at here. Every time I work with a client, if you work with me, you're gonna get some sort of presentation from me. Usually there's going to be 2 or 3 rounds of presentations, just depends on what we're working on and how complex it is. But in this case, round 1, this is what I sent to Wes. It's a PDF that he was able to download and look at. So you've got your title page, great. But one of the things that I like to include, and that's fun, is to include all of these sketches. It's cool for you to be able to see a bit of what's going through my mind, how raw and unpolished and not beautiful the creative process can be sometimes. And so that's exactly what we see here. It gives you a bit, kind of wets the palette a little bit and gives you an idea of where we are going creatively with this project. And once in a while, if there's an idea in here that I didn't pursue, but is actually something that the client would like to see, then we have that option as well. So here was the first design that I'd shown Wes. The color palette, that white and yellow, was a specific palette that I pulled from that reference image that Wes sent my way. Black and gold and white, those are kind of Hamilton colors, Steel City colors. So leaning into that with this project was really fun. So you're going to see that here, a simple, nice, bold, thick italic, and then you've got a hammer, really trying to emphasize that kind of build nothing, that brokenness, that if you don't do anything with your hands, they become idle. You're not going to have anything to show for it. Just like a broken hammer is not going to help you accomplish a whole lot of stuff. And this one has the double entendre that a hammer represents the city of Hamilton, often known as the hammer. The second option here is with a pair of hands actually being in there. Now, even though a lot of the work that I do is by hand on the iPad first and foremost, I don't consider myself a particularly great artist, and so drawing hands is one of the most difficult things. So it was this fun challenge for me to kind of draw these icon style hands but still give them a realistic enough feel and do some interesting things with them in the different designs that I'm presenting to Wes in round 1 of what I see working. In the bottom of this one, you see Wes Bos's logo brought in here as well, that really rough hand drawn Wes Bos with the crown in the middle. So that one was a lot of fun. This third one is really cool. It's working on this different kind of layout that has these side pieces and this vertical type, which is a lot of fun. Now, this font ended up being one that Wes really gravitated towards and we started to use elsewhere. And this build nothing, and the nothing that is stretched out and it's taking up the whole bottom of the pennant, that was a really fun touch. And again, something that's much easier to do when you are designing by hand as opposed to designing straight into the computer. It's not that it can't be done, it's just more difficult, it's harder to get to. And this one, you've got the clock, you're kind of talking about time and doing nothing over the course of time, and so that's where some of that imagery starts to come in here. This one, I love a good letter mark where you're interlocking all these letters, creating a really cool monogram. So this one, there's an IH, a B, and an N in there, and they're all interlocking. We kind of messed with the color to make it a little bit more legible. This ultimately wasn't a design option that Wes chose to pursue, but I thought it still made for a cool little icon. You might be able to use that little monogram in different places in the future, just because it's kind of fun. This one, just a nice classic swirly script here, big letters. You've got the icons in here. Those are also pretty big and noticeable as well. Really fun. One of my favorite details is that letter N. Always think that that's a really fun N to pull out, and that H is also just a lot of fun. This one definitely draws on the tattoo inspired kind of art. We've got that dagger that's being pierced through the pennant here. A lot of fun to draw this one, really enjoyed it. The slanted text of idle hands build and then nothing, kind of getting those juxtaposing angles. Just a lot of fun, really cool little thing here. You see a little WB. We've combined those into a Wes Bos monogram down there. Really fun. This one was the last one. You'll see that the last one is by far the most intricate, the most complex. That is by design. I did that on purpose. And this one, again, Wes said, he commented that he really liked this design. He felt like it was maybe too much for this particular project. But you can see in the handle of the sword, you've got the letter W, the letter B for Wes Bos. You've got the crown in there. Of course, you've got these icons in here. Just a really fun design. Some of this filigree, really dig that. And that was the end of round one. So when Wes came back to me, he talked about some of the different designs that he liked, things that he liked about them, and things that he wanted to explore a little further in round two. And one of the other specific ideas that Wes really wanted to explore was, instead of using regular hands, he wanted to use skeleton hands. So this was another challenge for me to get to really push myself creatively and try out some skeleton hands, doing some different things and kind of messing with the abstract nature of how you compose your hands in all these different ways. Like I said, I love to start off presentations with a sketch. This page of sketches, you see a whole bunch of different options, and it's amazing how subtle the differences can be, but how big the impact can be when you make changes like that. One of the last ones at the end, the praying hands, that's definitely one. That icon kind of gets used in a couple different places, so that was a lot of fun to bring out here as well. So this was strongly based off of one of the concepts that Wes really liked. You can see that we swapped out the hands for skeleton hands. That was really fun. Dig that. Again, we've kept that build nothing that's taking up the whole bottom of the pennant. That was really fun. Really like that one. Again, keeping with that font that Wes really likes, we've worked in the crown this time and got a string of those icons all together. You can see the keyboard, the mouse all being worked here. And again, another idea with the skeleton hands. You can see they feel gritty, and that is very much on purpose to kind of give it that rugged, aged look. Really cool. Third concept here is very similar. You've got the swirly font in idle hands. That was fun. Again, we're taking that crown element, moving it around. You've got the icons, some of them gray, some of them white. You've got the hands that are kind of pointing up, hands kind of just hanging out in the air there. And then lastly, you've got this more kind of pyramid style that has the praying hands. That was really fun. We differentiated the front hand and the back hand with that gray back there. You see we're alternating the text colors. You've got that little poppy yellow at the bottom just to try to give the pennant some balance in terms of color all the way around that thing. And that is what we're looking at for round two. Here you can see them all standing in a row, so it's easier to kind of compare what is working and what's not. Wes pretty much from this point had decided on what his favorite one was, and he just kind of wanted to see some of the hands swapped around. And so for round three, we just got right into it and we put everything together. He wanted a black background, so he filled that out. He wanted to see what the grommets might look like in the corners there. And this is the final design that Wes chose for his pennant. So that was fun. When we were done with this, when I was done designing it on the iPad, brought it into Illustrator, made it a vector so that Wes could use it in perpetuity going forward, repurpose it, use it maybe for t-shirt graphics, all kinds of different things going forward. And that was the project with Wes Bos. So this pennant was a lot of fun. I really loved designing this, and I'm looking forward to hopefully doing even more stuff like this in the future. If you have a pennant or another cool creative project, especially if it's anywhere in this realm, I love working on design stuff that is in this flavor, this style of art and design, illustration. So please don't hesitate to reach out to me. I would love to work with you on that. But otherwise, thanks so much for hanging out. Hope that you learned something, found something interesting in this video, learning a bit about my creative process, and I'll catch you in the next one.